Jim Harrison Show.
Well, anytime we embark on a new adventure, it can come with questions, uncertainty, and that leads to a good deal of stress. Well, help may be at hand. Isabelle, Izzy Hamptonstone, is a performance consultant from Sun Peaks and joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
It's good to talk to you again. Now, you've worked with those in the sports field, both pro and amateur, in business. You're also a best-selling author. Just before we start getting into the nuts and bolts of this, how did you get into this business?
There was an incredible athlete up here at Sun Peaks whose performance was being diminished by her ability to cope with very stressful situations. As a result of us working together, she got handpicked to represent Canada at the Olympics, and it all started to flow from there. And when I work with my business leaders and people in public office, they are consistent in having three specific traits. They all have to perform under pressure. They are all humble enough to know that there are ways out there for us to learn to work smarter rather than harder, and they're all battling with stress and overwhelm.
Are we making too much of this stress thing? Isn't stress, doubt, uncertainty, all of that a part of life?
What I'm seeing in my practice is more and more people are coming to me with levels of stress that are beyond what they have the tools to deal with. A certain amount of stress is a stimulant. It enhances performance. But what I'm starting to see when people come to me more and more are things like cognitive stress indicators, where poor concentration, low self-confidence, negative thoughts are leading to a lot of insomnia and leading to a high level of self-criticism and perfectionism. There are also our bodily or somatic stress indicators. People who, at a regular event, find themselves having butterflies in their stomach, maybe their mouth is dry, and that sleeplessness can lead to behavioral stress indicators. They might avoid eye contact. They might have emotional outbursts. They might be acting out of character. They might procrastinate. You can ask yourself, is my response to this situation appropriate or inappropriate in my own eyes? And when there is a consistent level of what we deem to be inappropriate in our own behavior, that's when we reach out for help.
Of course, this stress, as you mentioned, can have all kinds of consequences, including paralysis in terms of getting things done and diminished performance. Now, you've created something called the Performance Intelligence Protocol. What is that?
So the Performance Intelligence Protocol is a step-by-step protocol that I designed initially for my Olympic athletes. And it is a proven trademark system of developing the mindset to access the zone of peak performance. Now, usually with my athletes, my business leaders, they can all remember one time in their lives where things went really well. And it almost felt like maybe time stood still and they felt really comfortable and confident and they reached a goal that they were yearning to achieve. And in the past, that was always a process that seemed to happen. Now, with the protocol that I've developed, it's enabling the access of zone of peak performance to happen whenever my client wants to access that process.
Can you talk about some of the basic elements of that protocol without getting into proprietary stuff?
So some of the basic elements is enabling the brain to access a place of deep comfort but acute alertness. So it's activating the optimum learning state, and that's the primary focus of when I work with people, is training their brain to access the optimum learning state for peak performance.
And these areas that you say you can improve, how to be clear, how to be consistent, how to be capable, critical thinking, and of course, communication.
Absolutely. And it's that higher order thinking where we're operating from a place of ease rather than stress that allows us to perform at the very highest level.
Your website says there are some measurable results that are pretty impressive. To what degree?
Let's give an example of a Kamloops Blazers hockey player, somebody who's obviously learning all the time, but somebody who has to perform at a very high level. I took this player, he's a wonderful gentleman, his name is Nolan Mean. So we did a whole year's work in one day together, and he spoke to me about a month afterwards, and we talked about his result. And he said, Izzy, look at my points per game. And his increase in points per game from the month before I worked with him to the month afterwards was 379%.
Wow. And for those who don't know, you've also authored that book, Hockey Confidence, which is a bestseller, and you've had endorsements from NHLers like Sador, Hirsch, and Lidster, too.
Yes, absolutely. And none of that success would have happened without the support of the business community in Kamloops, particularly the Kamloops Blazers, and a huge thank you to 5-time Stanley Cup champion Mark Recchi.
You can learn more about confidence and performance training. The website is braintrainwin.com. Isabelle Hamptonstone has been our guest. Thank you so much.
Very good. Thanks, Jim. Nice to speak to you.